Welcome to BizEdMadeSimple. In this video, we're going through one of the P's of marketing, one of the 4 P's. We're looking at place. So we're going to be running through the advantages and disadvantages of the different distribution channels. We're looking at the ones on the screen, direct to customer, through retailers, through wholesalers, and using agents. And then along the way, because we're going to be doing it as ever with a little story, when you come out of this video, you'll fully understand and have passion and be able to recommend and justify an appropriate distribution channel, whatever the case study they give you. So let's get underway. Now, this silly story is once more based on an element of truth, and interestingly, it's based on my dad. So my dad's a teacher. You've got to know a little bit about him for this story. My dad has been a teacher all his life, and then he retired. Now, he was happy about retiring because he has had a hobby all his life. He's traveled and he loves photography. So he's taken loads of fantastic photographs and he's won lots of competitions. And once he retired, he thought, well, I'd really like to sell these photographs, see if I can turn the hobby into a little bit of a side business. Okay, so he's got his photographs, but he thinks, how am I going to do this? Well, the easiest way that he's got is to just sell it to the local pub, to his friends and family that we've got. He lives in a small little town in the southern part of the UK. And when he's in the pub, he's having a beer and he's talking to the people around and they say, hey, you've got some good photos. Can I buy one of your photos? And he says, sure, absolutely. Here's one of my photos. Don't need to ask twice. The price is 20 euros. I'm going to sell it for 20 euros. In this video, I'm doing euros to keep it consistent, although they're not actually euros in the UK, but never mind that. So he sells 20 euros a photograph. Okay, but let's put some other information in this. Now, in my silly story, my dad has also got a nemesis, a neighbour who's really miserable and really grumpy, and he's just popped up over the screen. And he says, can I buy one of your photos? And Dad says, absolutely not. I don't want you having one of my works of art that I've put so much effort into. You're not having my photos. Okay, so that, in fact, in the silly story, is selling through Channel 1. He is the producer of the photographs, he prints them off, and he sells them directly to the customer. Okay, what are the advantages of that? Well, firstly, he's got full control over the business. He decides the selling price, 20 euros. He decides who he sells it to and how it looks and can you edit this photo. He gets direct feedback from the customers, whether they like it or not. If they say, well, I didn't like that one, he can edit it or change it. He's also got all of the profits. There's no one intermediary, but there's no one in the middle of this. The profit that's made is all for him. What are the disadvantages though? Well, it's limited reach. He's only got his friends and family in a small little village that he lives in. Once he runs out of those and everyone's bought one for Christmas and for their friends, that's it. He's got no more market to sell to. So the potential market size is very small. It's also, in his particular case, very time consuming. The money comes in bits, and a bit here, a bit there, each time he goes to the pub. Let's just imagine he goes to the pub, someone says, can I have a photo? He goes home, prints it, gives it the next day, and then he doesn't have anything for a week where no one's there, or 2 weeks, and then he's got 3 at a time. So it's time consuming. Each time someone asks, he has to go and print. A pain. Money is not coming in regularly, so he doesn't have cash regularly. Okay, but it goes well in my story. It does get popular. He's got more free time because he's now retired, and he thinks, I want to up the game here. So he goes to his local town, and in his local town there is a photography shop, and he goes along with his portfolio of his image and he says, look at these photographs. I think they go great in your art shop. And as you can see on my screen, the manager of the shop says, okay, well, I will buy 100 off you right now at 15 euros each. And my dad says, well, that's fantastic. He therefore gets all of that money all at once. He's got 1,500 euros in revenue. Of course, he's got costs in all of this, by the way, but in revenue, 1,000 euros, 500 euros all at once, and he doesn't have to do anything. He just delivers the photographs and that's it. Then he can rest, and then next month, if he orders more, another batch, he'll get another 1,500 euros. So a lot easier. He's not having to handle change and all of those sorts of things. But a few more things happen in the story. He's walking past the shop now, and he says, well, he's remembering he bought these, he sold them now for 10 euros each, but it's in the shop for 30 euros. And he hears people in the pub now, people he doesn't know, saying, well, I like this Rob Dougal photography, but who does he think he is charging 30 euros? He's not that good. And Dad's thinking, doesn't say anything because, but hang on, I didn't get 30 euros, I was only charging 10. Some other things that are happening. Out of the shop one day he sees is his nemesis, and he's walking out with one of my dad's photos. Why has this guy got this shop? Third thing happens, in the window, we can see that there's a silly photo of a dog. Now, my dad storms into the shop. He says, look, what are you doing here? Firstly, why did you sell that to that man? I don't like that man. You shouldn't sell it to that man. Secondly, you're charging too much. You shouldn't be charging 30 euros. And most importantly, how dare you put my works of art next to stupid photos of dogs? Get rid of that dog photo. It shouldn't go anywhere near it. Now, what do you think the shop manager says? We'll come to it in a moment. Okay, so this method is channel 2, where it goes from the producer, my dad, to the retailer. Retail is another word for shop, the shop, and then the shop sells it to the customer. The advantage of this, he's now got a much wider customer base, much larger potential market. He's also got passing trade, just people walking down the high street in the local town who weren't thinking about photos. They see it in the window and they say, okay, well, I'll buy one of those. So we've got a lot more people, not just his friends and family, to sell to. Less time needed, remember, because he's not having to go and sell every individual painting. He just sells it all in bulk in one go. Thirdly, the shop is paying for the advertising and the promotion. Now, he doesn't have to do any promotion. The shop, he can just be sitting to the radio and he hears a radio advert, Rob Dougal photographers on half price sale or whatever it is. That's all in the hands of the shop. He can relax and not do any of that. The disadvantage is, though, he's got a reduced profit margin. Have a look in Unit 5 for the exact terms of profit margin. But there's someone taking a cut out of his money. Remember, he got paid 1,500, a lot of revenue in one go, but he only got 10 euros per photo, and they're being sold, I think, for 30, I said. So someone else is making a lot of money off kind of his hard-earned work, and he can be a bit upset about that. Secondly, less control, because what do you think that shopkeeper said? He said, go away, it's nothing to do with you. I've bought these photos off you, they now belong to me. Don't you dare tell me anything about who I can sell to or what should be in the shop window. So my dad absolutely lost control in that. He doesn't get a say. Once he's sold them, it's nothing to do with him. Now that might be upsetting my dad when he feels he's a bit of an artist and he wants control over these things. But in the story, we'll say he gets over that and it continues to go well. They're ordering more and more every month. And he starts to think, well, I know, I'm going to look online and I've seen shops all over the Great Britain. I've seen them way up in Scotland, over in Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland. I've got shops everywhere. I'd love to get into all of those photo shops. But he says, well, I'm too old to be driving around all of these shops. I don't know anyone. This feels too much like a business experience. How could I get it into those shops? I'd love to have the whole of Great Britain as the potential market. So he searches on the internet, he looks it up, watches one of these videos, and he says, well, I know, I'm going to find a wholesaler. Now, what is a wholesaler? Well, this is a wholesaler in my image, and he's got a warehouse and a load of lorries that sit in the centre of Great Britain. Now, what that means is that he doesn't have to phone all of these shops. He's just going to phone one wholesaler. He phones up the wholesaler and he says, hey, come and see my portfolio, or I'll come up to you in one journey. Here's my portfolio. I think you could sell this to all the shops. If you buy loads off me, keep them in your warehouse. I heard you've got connections with shops all over the UK. You could deliver them for me. Every shop will love them. My problem is I just can't go there myself. The wholesaler looks at it, he says, okay, I like the look of this. I've got loads of contact in photographer shops all around Great Britain. I will buy right now off you. You got to print them all off, but I will order 10,000 of your photographs at 10 euros each. It was 10. What did I say? 15 before. So I will order 10,000 at 10 euros each. Well, my dad's delighted by that because now He has got a massive amount of money all going in at once. He looks up on the internet, or he has a friend who goes to Scotland to a shop he's never been to in Scotland, and he sees that in this shop, one of his photographs is in the window to a shop he's never been, a place he's never been, and they're selling them for 40 euros. Okay. My dad's very happy with this. He's made for this, in one transaction of delivering these photos, he's made 100,000 euros. This we call channel 3. It's the producer, my dad, who sells to a wholesaler and then the wholesaler sells it off, travels around the country with lorries and sells it off to individual shops. So this wholesaler is just very well connected with all shops and good at logistics of transporting. The advantage of this, well, it's more of the same. In each of these, you can just add to the ones that we've previously had. It's more of the same, but this one is an even larger potential market. It's now not just the whole of the town, it's the whole of Great Britain. It, again, saves a lot of time here. He gets a lot of money in one go. He has to produce all of those, but that's it. It's one simple transaction. And he's not really having to deal with the business side of things anymore. He can focus on taking photographs, the things he likes to do. He just has to have one business transaction negotiation with this guy, and that's it. He can forget about it and just count his money. The disadvantages, again, more of the same. Well, the disadvantages, we've got lower profit per photo once more, that the profit margins go down because now what's happening is the cost has gone up to 40 euros. He's only making 10, but then we've got the wholesaler making money off him, taking a cut, and we've got the shops up in Scotland and in Northern Ireland and everywhere else taking a cut. So he's getting squeezed down in actually what is received from the selling price of these photographs. He's also got a complete loss of customer contact. He doesn't have any clue what people are thinking because he's just in his house now taking photographs. He doesn't deal with costs. He doesn't know what people are saying. The only feedback he gets is how many of individual photos are being ordered. So he's got real loss of touch with his customers, and that could create him some problems. But nearly there. We'll go to option number 4. We'll say he gets even bigger. He loves it. It's going really well. He's got loads of money, but even though he's retired, he's greedy. He wants to go even bigger. And he starts to say, hey, my photos would go really well in Spain. And I know the deal. It's simple now. All I need to do is get a wholesaler in Spain. They can put it into all of the shops all over Spain. So I know the Spanish are going to love my photographs. So he gets his mobile. He gets his mobile phone and he phones up a Spanish wholesaler. He phones her up, ring, 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 and of course, the Spanish wholesaler will pick up the phone and say, hola, buenos días. And my dad goes, ¿qué? What? I don't know how to speak. ¿Qué pasó? Says the wholesaler. They now have a communication barrier. Now, even if my dad's got a little bit of Spanish, he's going to struggle to be on good negotiating terms. The Spanish wholesaler is going to be able to confuse him with legal terms. He's not going to have a clue what to do. He's not going to be able to negotiate this deal well at all. So he hangs up and he says, I need something else. Again, he goes back online and searches, what can I do? What can I do? And instead, he finds an agent. Now, the agent advertises as a Spanish-English agent. This is someone who's gone to an international school like mine, who is completely bilingual in both Spanish and English and understands both British and Spanish culture. So he phones up this agent and he ring, and he's over in Spain. And this time, this person picks up and says, hola. He says, what? And she says, oh, hi, I can speak in English to you if that would be easy. And Dad says, oh, fantastic. Okay, I want to get my photographs into Spain. I want to use a wholesaler, but I don't really know how to communicate. Can you help me with that? The agent says, of course I can, no problem. I'll negotiate that. I'm an expert at dealing with these people. I know all the laws, but of course I'm not doing it for free. I want to get 10% commission of all the money you make using my contacts. 10%. My dad says, okay, all right, let's do it. But he passes it over. She organises all of the deal, the agent with that, and now we've got massive, massive numbers being sold. You get the idea. 10% commission there. Let's have a look at this final one then. Channel 4, what are the advantages and disadvantages? Well, we have the agent for international sales. The agent goes to the wholesaler, probably, doesn't have to be, who then goes to the retailer, and then it goes to the customers. The advantages: you'll have an agent who's an expert in foreign markets. They can help with the negotiating. You've also got the same advantages that have come before through going through this channel. Massive now potential market, because you've got access to new markets, so you're not tied to your local country, your local language. You can access all of the world through using agents, and you're going to be selling in vast quantities, having a much larger revenue in one go. The disadvantages of though, someone else is taking a cut of your profit. So your profit margins are going down on the retail price. The price would probably go up. So commission costs, the agents are charging fees, the wholesaler is taking a cut, the shops, the retailers are taking a cut. All of your profit is being eaten into by these other people. Second disadvantage, and again, disadvantages are the same in the previous, you've got real dependence on that agent. That agent is doing all your negotiating. If you don't trust them, if they trick you passing a law, you've got a real risk. If they suddenly disappear, your business deal could be taken away from you as well. So you've got to have real trust in that. That's it for place. That tells you everything you need to know, hopefully. It makes you understand it. Now, within that, you might be asked, which do you think is the most suitable way? Where did my dad's story really end? Well, it ended in Channel 2. Why? Well, he didn't like losing control. He wanted to be the artist. He didn't want to grow so much and have that money. It was still sort of a hobby. Now, hopefully you got the gist of that and you'll be able to be passionate. You might even say, what's he doing? This is an opportunity. He should be going with it. That's how you recommend and justify. Of course, when we were looking at converting, which I didn't do, I kept it all in euros for keeping it simple, but there would be exchange rate issues if you're going into another currency. And if you want to find out all about those, have a look at this video, exchange rates. That's it for now. I hope it helps. Don't forget to like and follow.